All right, so I just had an insight about the golden rule. And on the face of it, we all sort of understand the golden rule is, treat others the way you would like to be treated. Now, that sounds very simple on the surface, just like, whatever you think is the correct thing to do for yourself, do that for somebody else. Or, I suppose another way of saying that is like, you know, put yourself in somebody else's shoes and then behave in accordance with how you would like to be treated if you were in their shoes. So the catch to the golden rule, and I think it sort of hides in plain sight, is treat others the way you would like to be treated. But the question is, if you don't know what it's like to really be yourself, then you can't actually treat other people the way you would like to be treated. And so what I'm saying is you actually need to have you actually need to be aware of what you are. You actually need to have a relationship with yourself, not the self that you've learned to be, not the self that you've become in response to survive in this world, because the self that we manufacture, the person that we decide to be, that is it's not the self. That's a tool set. That's the set of tools that we've gathered in order to survive in this world. So, and within that tool set is all kinds of deception, because it is required to deceive in this world. Just deception, I'm sorry, is part of survival in this world. I hate to, be shocking or have this as a shocking revelation, is that every day, we practice deception in order to survive in this world. And so, part of the deception is we deceive ourselves to modulate and regulate our emotions, because there's some things that we don't want to be faced with, under certain circumstances. So we, block certain things out and keep things out of focus so that we can operate relatively emotionally stable, in a variety of circumstances. And so, like what we present to others is not, necessarily how we are truly experiencing life. And so, what we must do to actually fulfill this ideal, the golden rule, to treat others the way we would like to be treated, is we have to actually learn what it is like to be ourselves, and who is it, that is behind behind these eyes. Who is it that when I look in the mirror is looking back at me? Who is this person? What is it? Where did they come from? What are they feeling? What are they really like? What are their real instincts? What is it that they really desire? What is it that truly motivates, that self? It's not so easy in a world where the self that we identify with is like, oh, I'm, part of this group, and I, believe these things, and I have these values. That is not who you are. That is who you are so that you can survive as a social creature. And so the way you're going to treat people is not according to the golden rule, which is the way you would like to be treated. You're going to take that information into your brain and you're going to reconstruct it, and you're going to say, oh, okay, it means like I'm going to treat people by the ethics that I've learned from my environment. And that is how I would want to be treated. I want to be treated like the way, the ethics that I've agreed to are, that's how I want to be treated. But that's not really how you want to be treated, because you don't really know yourself unless you've looked at what it is like to be you. And what it's like to be you is going to make you feel uncomfortable, because you've strategically decided to look outside of yourself to be safe, because you've been told that it's not safe to be who you are in this world. And so when you first begin to look inward, and inward meaning at what it is that you are, what your experiences are, what you're feeling, it's like if you have thoughts, it's not just like, oh, I had these thoughts, these are my thoughts. You look at your thoughts and you're like, okay, what's behind, what is behind these thoughts? Like, why am I generating these thoughts? That is more, the truth about it, about what you are, rather than the narrative. The narrative is there to remind you, oh, I need to be this kind of person to survive. But the narrative is not you. So, it's like when you look inward, you find and you hear thoughts and you're like, usually, we don't question our own thoughts because they're like, well, they're my thoughts, so why should I question them? I thought it, so therefore it must come from me. But, the real question is like, what is the purpose of the thought? And then does this thought really serve my actual primal nature? Or is it something that is just sort of like a button that has been pushed and now it's, going off on autopilot? And so to really treat others the way you would like to be treated, you have to know what it is that you are, not what it is that the world has convinced you that you are. So anyhow, I thought that that's an interesting thing, and I just wanted to document it.